If, like me, you get pretty low in the winter time, then this is the video for you.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive.
With the cold days and the dark nights, it's completely reasonable to be feeling a wee bit down. I myself have often struggled with seasonal depression and have developed these habits to help keep me going in the winter time and to raise my spirits. I find them very helpful and I thought you might too. So without further ado, here are my essential self-care habits to combat winter blues. Some of these might be a wee bit unexpected, but I promise you they really work. The first one is to clear the clutter. Now, many of us think of decluttering as being a once and done project or something you do once or twice a year, but in reality, clutter is constantly coming into our homes over the year, and particularly in winter time, there tends to be a big build-up and a lot of excess over the festive season. And so to have a regular habit throughout the winter months of decluttering every week or so, even just having a clutter box in your home, that's what myself and my husband do, to put things into whenever you find something you don't want or need, and then you can take it to the charity shop every month. This can make a really big difference in keeping your space clear and spacious, and has the benefits of giving you a clearer mind and meaning that you're not spending quite so much time cleaning and sorting and organising, and instead can just relax and take it a bit slower and easier over the winter months. The next self-care habit is to get out in nature and go for a walk. Getting outside is one of the best mood boosters in winter time, particularly in daylight, but even if it's a wee bit dimmer or darker, getting out and getting some fresh air, particularly in a place that is full of nature, such as a woodland or local park, is such a great way to just make yourself feel a bit better, especially if you've been cooped up inside. If you're worried about getting cold, just bundle up warm. We have a saying here in Scotland, which I've said many a time on this channel, and that is that there is no such thing as bad weather, just the wrong clothes. Okay, so perhaps this habit should go without saying, but it is to warm yourself to the core. Last winter I did not do this enough and ended up very stiff and sore around my shoulders, and also got a lot of colds, which of course was not going to contribute to a positive, uplifting mood. And so this year I have made it utmost priority to keep myself really warm. My favourite ways of doing this are, of course, hot tea throughout the day, taking hot showers and baths with Epsom salts to ease the sore muscles, visiting a sauna at a local spa or gym if you have access to that, and of course having a hot water bottle under the dressing gown. Stretching is without a doubt one of the best ways to alleviate the winter blues, and it is a very, very good form of self-care as well. Obviously in the winter time our muscles get so stiff and from the cold and just hunching up all the time, and we might not even realise that we're doing it, but we're really causing a lot of extra tension to build up in our bodies. And just taking the time to do lots of stretching can really, really help to alleviate that. It also releases GABA, which is a very calming chemical. I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about the science, I just know that it releases a good chemical that makes you feel calm and peaceful. So definitely something to incorporate as a habit into your wintertime routines. One big reason for the winter blues is because a lot of us are vitamin D deficient because we're not getting enough sunlight. Even when we do go out, we're often very bundled up, and so we're not getting the light that is there. This can lead to really low mood and to fatigue and just to feeling all around quite rubbish. And so to combat this, I recommend taking a daily vitamin D supplement, and also maybe meal prepping to make sure that you're including a lot of vitamin D high food sources such as mushrooms, fish, eggs, and different kinds of meats. The next one is a little bit funny, but it really works, and that is to use a sad lamp, which I promise is not as depressing as it sounds. A sad lamp is, if you've not heard of it before, basically a light box that has a really bright light that simulates sunshine. By sitting in front of it for an hour or so every morning, it can help to stimulate serotonin in the brain and also reduce melatonin, so it helps you to wake up a bit for the day. I've always found that when I use this first thing in the morning, it not only wakes me up in the morning, but it also actually regulates my sleep cycle for the evening. I always end up finding myself getting sleepy at about the right sort of time and falling asleep really quickly once I do go to bed. Don't set a New Year's resolution. I know this is a bit of an anti-habit because most of us are in the habit of setting New Year's resolutions, but the truth is that only about 8% of people actually keep their New Year's resolutions, which is evidence that they don't actually work for most people. And I think that this is completely natural. It doesn't really make sense to decide to set a resolution for around about midwinter time when your nutrition reserves are probably pretty low. You're probably quite fatigued. Maybe you've been having a lot of sugar and maybe more alcohol than usual, so you're a bit down in the dumps. Trying to hype yourself up to reach an unrealistic goal is not going to make you feel better. It's understandable to want to do it because you want to get out of the slump, but I just don't think that New Year's resolutions are the way to go with it, because simply setting a resolution isn't going to help you to achieve your goals. Habit is, and habit takes time to cultivate and plan. And sure, you can start that in the new year, but to expect yourself to do it perfectly from the first month is just not very realistic. I often find autumn time, just after the summer when I'm feeling a lot more energetic, to be one of the most optimal times to set resolutions, but that's just my personal view. There is a much more effective route that you can go though. And that brings us on to the final self-care habit to combat your winter blues, and that is to take time to dream. Instead of setting resolutions that can sometimes be a little bit rigid and hard to keep, especially in January time, dream about the way that you want your life to be. This, in my opinion, is a much more fun way to bring about positive change in your life, and is also a little bit more thorough in a way than simply writing a list of resolutions. There are a few ways you can do this, but my personal favourites are journaling, imagining yourself a year from now and what you want your life to look like, simply going for a walk and having a daydream, and I did this for the first time this year, creating a vision board. I was always a wee bit sceptical about these. I don't know why. I think I just thought it was maybe a time-consuming task for something that I didn't know if it would work. But I decided to not knock it until I tried it, and I made mine this year, and it was so much fun to do. I really enjoyed it, and it's now my permanent desktop background, so I'm going to be looking at it regularly and habitually over the winter period and into the year, reminding myself constantly of all the good and wonderful things that are coming up and that I'm dreaming of and hoping for in my life. In the winter time, we can get really low and we can just forget how good life can be and how good life will be. And so having something to dream about and envision for the future is such a wonderful way to lift the spirits. And so I cannot recommend it enough, and I think that's a really good one to end on. I know it's dark, I know it's cold, but you are doing so well. I promise spring will come soon, and you will be reminded once more of just how good life can be again. Thank you for watching. My name is Kat, if we haven't met before. I make slow and simple living content based in Scotland. If that's of interest to you, then do be sure to subscribe. Also like the video if you liked it and it was helpful to you. And leave me a comment down below letting me know either which self-care habit is your favourite out of this list, or any self-care habits for winter time that you think that I've missed. But until next time, it was lovely to have you here.